वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. Bhagavadgita, the first chapter, is called the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna is steeped in the sorrow and the delusion, and he is very much distressed. He is in a crisis, and that critical moment in the life of Arjuna and the sorrow and the agony he is facing is termed as Vishada here. How Arjuna's Vishada or Arjuna's agony, Arjuna's distress condition leads to yoga. This was the questions before us that we have discussed in the last class. In the life, we have to face many critical situations, and in those critical situations or the condition, we will be able to know our strengths and the weaknesses. So, if we don't have that much strength to cope with that conditions, distress condition or difficult situation, and we ask the help of the God, we surrender to God and we seek the blessings of the God. So here also the same kind of situation you will find. Arjuna, out of distress, sought the help of the Lord Krishna. The Lord Krishna gave him the knowledge that liberated Arjuna from the sorrow and the agony, from the distress. That knowledge also will help every one of us to overcome the sufferings we will face in our day-to-day life. That is why the Krishna's teaching is not only for Arjuna, it is for the entire humanity. It is a universal message, and we have to learn many life lessons. The life lessons, this is a term very popular now, how to lead the life, how to cope up with the difficulties, how to lead a balanced life, how to gain knowledge, and how to have bliss in our life. All these problems of the life will be solved when we study Bhagavadgita. So, in that sense, Arjuna Vishada is a fortunate opportunity for Arjuna to go near God, to become the devotee of God, to get the spiritual instruction from the God. But for the distress condition of Arjuna, Krishna would not have taught, would not have preached the gospel of the Bhagavad Gita at all. So sometimes our difficult time turns into boons because our mind will be directed towards God. So this is a lesson we have to learn. The distress, difficulties, problems are the great lessons of life. Swami Vivekananda says. And he says, I have learned more from my shortcomings, weaknesses, mistakes, and problems than my successes. So the life is a great school, Swamiji says. So we have to learn. It is the school for the Atman, school of the soul. The whole life is a school. Whole life or this world is a learning place. So we have to learn. So in that sense, Arjuna Vishada, Arjuna's sorrow is a great blessing. So we also suffering from many kind of ailments. Bodily ailments can be cured by applying or taking medicines, but the mental ailments are very difficult to treat, even by so-called psychiatrists. It needs spiritual solution. All the mental maladies will not go away just by the treatment of psychologist or the psychiatrist. We have to have the spiritual solution. Then only the mental maladies can be cured. The best panacea for all the mental maladies we are suffering from, it may be depression, it may be the loss of confidence and the mental weakness, etc., etc. The best panacea is the Bhagavadgita. Bhagavadgita gives us mental strength. Bhagavadgita gives us philosophy that will induce a confidence in life and hope for the future, hope for the betterment of the life and the world. And we see the world in a new perspective. That is the benefit of the Bhagavad Gita. In this context, we have to see Arjuna Vishada is also a yoga. Yoga is the communion with the Lord. So yoga is used in two meanings are given for the yoga in our Sanskrit literature. Yud Samadhau. In Yoga Shastra, yoga is mainly used in the concentration of the mind, control of the senses, and destroying the mental modes or the mental thoughts, and attaining what is called Kaivalya. This is yoga according to Yoga Shastra. But in Bhagavad Gita and other books of the Vedic origin, and mainly the books on devotion, the yoga means communion with God. Communion with God in Bhakti Yoga and self-realization, realizing the nature of one's own Atman, the inner core of our personality is Jnana Yoga. So yoga here is communion with God. In the succeeding chapters, the idea of the yoga will be further explained by the Gita Acharya, the Lord Krishna. So the beginning of this great text has got a very significant meaning. It has not started with the utterance of either Arjuna or the Krishna. It starts with a statement or rather the question by Dhritarashtra. What is Dhritarashtra? One commentator says, Dhruta, one who is holding, who is the bearer of the Rashtra. Here Rashtra means the nation, but the nation can also the meaning can also be expanded to the whole world. The bearer of the word, the holder of the great word. That means Dhritarashtra is a name of God. But Dhritarashtra has got the name of the God, but his mind is full of delusion. He is the blind. So we have to understand the historical background why he asked such a question. What is the question? In Dharmakshetra or Kurukshetra, there are two kinds of people have assembled. Samavetaha, and they are all eager to wage the war. Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, Samavetaha, they have assembled, they are very eager to wage the war. What are these two kinds of people? Mamakaha, they are my people. One group belong to my people and the other group belong to the group of Pandavas. And O Sanjaya, what they have done? This is the question. This is a very, very peculiar question. So we have to know the story of Mahabharata. We have to keep the story of Mahabharata as a background to understand the psychological meaning, psychological significance of this question. Dhritarashtra was the eldest and the Pandu is the youngest. Since Dhritarashtra was blind, he couldn't ascend to the throne, and Pandu became the king. Pandu conquered almost the major parts of that India, civilized India, we can say, at that time, and became an emperor. And the Dhritarashtra was always in the background. So Dhritarashtra was suffering from kind of depression or humiliation, or in modern words what is called the inferiority complex. And he had waging a mental war. He couldn't fight with Pandu, but he was having animosity with his own brother, younger brother Pandu. By accident, Pandu died and Dhritarashtra became the king. There was no other way. Though he was a blind, he was made the king, and now he is showing all his animosity he had with his brother Pandu to the Pandavas, the sons of the Pandus. It was not an animosity, a bitterness. You cannot call it a animosity in the ordinary sense, a bitter state of mind. He always thought that I have been cheated. So the destiny always was against me, and that is why the Pandu became the king and I could not become the king. And all these animosity, the bitterness, the hatred he had towards the Pandu now later developed into a kind of antagonism towards the sons of the Pandu, the Pandavas. And he could not show that bitterness or the animosity towards Pandavas because he is the uncle, and and Pandavas would see him as their own father. And now he had his son Duryodhana. Duryodhana is nothing but the manifestation of that all kinds of bitterness, hatred Dhritarashtra had in his mind, and the external manifestation of that hatred is Duryodhana. So Dhritarashtra was always seeing Duryodhana as his own manifestation of the psychic problem he had. Externally, Duryodhana was expressing that, our Dhritarashtra couldn't express it, that's all. So all this background we should know. Why this question was asked. Mamakaha, my people. Kauravas are my people. Duryodhana and other 99 brothers are my people, and Pandavas, though they are the sons of my brother, they are enemies to me. So, Kim Kuruvata, what they have done. So, Madhusudana Saraswati interestingly says, he had two problems. Dhritarashtra had the two problems. One is he was very much worried. What was his worry? Kurukshetra is Dharma Kshetra. Why Dharma Kshetra? If you go to Kurukshetra and do penances, your dharma will increase. Your what you call punya, the merit will increase. If you are already meritorious, if you do some kind of penance and austerity in dharma, in this Kurukshetra, that will increase. If you have not done punya at all, if you have not done anything, even then if you do some good works in Kurukshetra, and it will be the breeding ground of the dharma. That is why it is called Dharma Kshetra. If you have already done dharma, it will increase. If you had not done dharma, it is the best way is to go to Kurukshetra and do some penances or austerity or some dana or etc. That is why this Kurukshetra is called the Dharma Kshetra. And why it is called Kurukshetra? Who are Kurus? There was an old king in the earlier times. There was in the olden time called Kuru. Both Kauravas and the Pandavas were descendants of the Kuru Vamsha, the clan which has arisen or Kuru, of the great king called Kuru. In fact, even the so-called Pandavas are also Kauravas. They are not different from Kauravas. Somehow or other, the Duryodhana and his brothers were called Kauravas by circumstance or by Rudi Artha it is called, by tradition or by tradition, and the Pandavas are called, or the sons of Pandavas are called the Pandavas. This is the idea. Now, Dharma Kshetra is Kurukshetra. That is why if Pandavas are already dharmic people, they are very righteous people. So when they go to war in a place like Kurukshetra, perhaps their mind would be changed. So they may not want to wage the war with the Kauravas at all. My son, his utmost desire, Dhritarashtra's desire, is to get the kingdom to Kauravas at any cost. And we don't think Dhritarashtra was a wonderful person, very righteous person, and his sons were evil people. All the evil tendencies, all the evil that was hidden in his mind, Dhritarashtra's mind, was just manifested, found expression in his sons, that's all. He thought Pandavas would change the mind and would not fight with the Kauravas at all. They would say they are very, very good people, we don't war, you take all the kingdom, we will again go back to the forest. This was the evil intention. This was the most covetous intention of Dhritarashtra. That is why he is asking, Kim akurvata, what they have done. And Madhusudana Saraswati adds another dimension. Suppose my sons, they are evil-minded. Dhritarashtra very much knows his sons were evil-minded. They are wicked people because they are just the replica of his own personality. They are not different from his personality. Dhritarashtra was a good man, is a good man, and his sons are bad. Not like that. Dhritarashtra found himself in the persona of Duryodhana and others. Now, when they go to Kurukshetra, the Kurukshetra is Dharma Kshetra. Suppose if their minds will change, no, we don't want war. Oh, Pandavas, we will give you your part of the land, part of the land which is due to you. So let us not fight. If they have that mind, if they do like this, if they develop such kind of good intention, because Kurukshetra is Dharma Kshetra, oh, that should not happen. Kauravas should not give up their climb, but the Pandavas should give up their climb. That is the evil intention of Dhritarashtra. That is why he is very eager to know what they have done. What they have done. They have gone to fight the war. There is 7 Akshohini Sainya on the Pandava side. There is 11 Akshohini Sainya on the Kauravas side. What they have gone for? They were preparing for the war for months. They have gone for the war. Still, the old blind man had the desire that Pandavas would give up their climb and stop the war. War will be stopped and Kauravas will again become the emperors. This is what is called the most selfish attitude we find in the human beings. Selfishness, desire, these are the root of our problem. And Bhagavadgita places that problem, the human weaknesses, before us in the form of the Dhritarashtra, rather Dhritarashtra's question. So in Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, Yuyutsavaha, eager to war, eager to wage war, eager to fight. Samavetaha, they have assembled. Who have assembled? Mamakaha, my people. And Pandavaha, they are enemies. They do not belong to me. They do not belong to our family. Pandavaha Shaiva Kima Kurvata, what they have done, O Sanjaya. You know, the Sanjaya is a charioteer of Dhritarashtra, and Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra are sitting in the palace in Hastinapura. Vedavyasa has given a divine eye to Sanjaya, and Sanjaya could see clearly what is happening in the great battlefield of the Kurukshetra. Everything he could see, because he had that vision, special eyes given by the Vedavyasa, and so that he could report to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra wanted to know every detail what is happening in the Kurukshetra. Though Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjaya is replying, Društva tu Pandavanikam Vyudham Duryodhanastada Acharyamupasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjaya, the commentators have given a wonderful explanation for this name also. Samyak Jayati, he has conquered the senses. He has conquered the lust and the greed that is troubling one's mind. That is why he is called the Sanjaya, a very wise man. Just like Vidura, who was in the court of the Kauravas, still was considered as a great virtuous man, a spiritual man. This man, Sanjaya, though he was a charioteer, was considered a wise man, good man, and a spiritual person. And he says, don't have any inhibition, don't have any desire that Pandavas would give their claim for the kingdom to your sons. It is not going to happen. It is the God's will. Rather, in this context, the Krishna's will, that war would definitely take place. Don't have any kind of hope of stoppage of the war, and the Pandavas would give away all the kingdom to you, your sons. It will never happen. Then what is happening now? He turns his eyes on Duryodhana. Something is going on. Duryodhana is very restless. Duryodhana is full of fear. Duryodhana is anxious. He is worrisome. What he has done? He has seen the Anekam, the army of the Pandavas. Drushtva tu. Tu is very important. But indeed, what it signifies? And he, before the war begins, even before the first weapon is thrown, first arrow is shot, Duryodhana is already decided or has convinced that he is not going to win this war. That is why he is full of fear, full of worry. That is on seeing the army of the Pandavas. Pandavanekam tu drushtva. Vyudham, situated in the array, formation. Vyuha is formation, and the formation is called the Vyudham. That which army which is in formation is called the Vyudha. Battle array it is called. Duryodhana tada. Then what he did? Acharya mupasangamya. The commander-in-chief is Bhishma. He did not go to Bhishma because he did not like Bhishma. Rather, he did not have confidence in Bhishma. As we go on, we will see he had no confidence with anybody in his army. That is the problem of Duryodhana. Duryodhana approaches Acharya Drona, his teacher, and Raja. Duryodhana is Raja. Vachanam abravit. He tells these words, or he spoke these words. What he spoke? Pashyaitam panduputranam acharya mahatim chamum vyudham drupada putrena tava shishyena dhimata. Acharya, O my teacher, see the Pandavas army. Who is the commander-in-chief? Who has set the whole army formation? Who has done it? Your own disciple. Panduputranam mahatim chamom acharya pashya. O Acharya, this Panduputras, Pandavas army is mahati chamum. It is the greatest army. It is far, far better equipped than us and far, far fit to war than our own army. In fact, it was numerically it is not so. Duryodhanas or Kauravas had 11 Akshayani Sainya. Kauravas had only 7 Akshayani Sainya. Numerically, Duryodhana's army, or rather Kaurava's army, was much bigger, almost double than the Pandavas' army. Still, Duryodhana is saying that you see the great army of the Pandavas. Mahatim chamum. You know who has arranged this formation? Who has done it? Drupada Putra. This is very significant. If we had read Mahabharata, we can understand the significance of these words. Drishtadyumna is the son of Drupada. He is not telling it has been arranged in array or the formation by Drishtadyumna, but rather Drupada Putra. Drupada and Dronas learnt archery or learnt vidyas, or they were educated under a same teacher. And Drona went to Drupada's court to ask for help. Drona was in a great trouble, great distress, great poverty. But Drupada did not take notice of him at all. Drupada humiliated him. His own friend, his own classmate was humiliated like anything. And there was a great animosity or the bitter rivalry between Drupada and the Drona. So, in order to awaken that anger in order to raise that anger towards that Drupada and the Drupada Putra, he is deliberately saying Drupada Putrena. And apart from that, Drupada Putra Drishtadyumna is his disciple also. Drupada did a sacrifice. I want to have a son who would kill Drona. And then he sent that his son to be educated under Drona himself. All this story background we should know. Then only we will understand the significance. So that let it rise, the anger may rise in the mind of Dronacharya. Let him fight with the Pandavas more ferociously. All the softness, all the affection he has towards the Pandavas, let it melt away. This is the intention, a very evil intention of the Duryodhana. He also adds, he is Drupada Putra, Drishtadyumna, and he is your disciple. Your own disciple is now put against you to kill all of us. You see what harm they are doing to us. And Dhimata, the Drupada Putra or Drishtadyumna, is very, very intelligent, very talented in war. Again poking Dronacharya, who has taught all this Vidya, archery, and also the art of war. You only taught him. Now your Vidya, all this education you have imparted on him, is going against you and against us. What a crime you have done. So Dronacharya should feel the guilty consciousness. Dronacharya should feel bitterness in the mind. Dronacharya should get angry. See, these are all the characteristics of the evil-minded people. You will see here Duryodhana, the very personification of that evil. Next, Atra Shura Maheshvasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharataha Drushtaketuschekitanaha Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamaujascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarvayeva Maharathaha. These three shlokas, 3 verses, traditionally are chanted together and the meanings are also explained together. Atra, here means in the in the army of the Pandavas. Though the Sanskrit meaning of Atra is here, it doesn't mean in the Kauravas army. It is in the Pandavas army. There are Maheshvasaha, the wielders of the bow, great bows. That means the great archers are there. Shuraha, great warriors are there. They are equal to Bhima and Arjuna. Even before the war itself, Duryodhana has accepting the defeat, and he is accepting the fact that Bhima and Arjuna are the greatest warriors in Mahabharata war. He says not only Bhima and Arjuna, there are many people, many great warriors who are equal to Bhima and Arjuna in their talent and skill in war. Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi. Who are they? Yuyudhana, Virata. Virata you know very well, where our Pandavas sought shelter under disguise in the Ajnatavasa, and Drupada, your friend, turned into enemy. Drupada, Who is Dupara? Maharataha. He is a great warrior. He is a valiant warrior. He is not an ordinary warrior. Or you can say Maharata Yuyudhana, Maharata Virata, Drupada Maharata. Maharata can be added to Yuyudhana, Virata, Drupada also. Next, Drushtaketuhu. Who is Drushtaketu? Yuyudhana is also called Satyaki. He belongs to the Yaduvamsha. And also Drushtaketu is the son of Shishupala. I do not have time to explain who is Shishupala and all that. You have to read the Mahabharata story to understand the significance or the background of all these warriors. And Chekitana is also a warrior from the Yadu clan. By the way, I had to tell you, Duryodhana and Arjuna both went to Krishna to seek the help in the war. And Krishna gave himself, his own services to Pandavas and gave his army to the Kauravas. That fact we have to remember. And also, next, Drushtaketuschekitanaha Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha. So I told you about Drushtaketu. Drushtaketu is the son of Shishupala. Chekitana is a warrior from the Yaduvamsha and also valiant Kashi Raja. The city Kashi was very ancient city. So there was a king in the Kashi, and Kashi Raja also is participating in this war and is supporting the Pandavas. And Drupada. And Drupada is an old friend of our great Acharya, Dronacharya. Just to make him more angry, he is citing all the names. And Kunti Bhoja. Kunti Bhoja is the father. He is not the real father. And Kunti Bhoja, in fact, nourished, he protected the Kunti. And he became the stepfather or adopted father for the Kunti. Kunti Bhoja. And next, Shaibhyascha Narapungavaha. There was a king called Shaibhya, who is considered or who is told here to be the best among the men. Yudhamanyuscha Vikrantaha. And Vikranta, the great brave man, the most brave man, famous for his bravery, Yudhamanyu. And Uttamaujaschcha Viryavan, valiant, gallant Uttamauja. And Saubhadraha, the son of Subhadra, everybody knows. Abhimanyu. And Draupadeyascha, the son of the Drupadas. You can now know the names of those sons of the Draupadi, the sons of Pandavas. Who are they? Abhimanyu, Tutastoma, Shrutakarma, Shatanika, and Shrutasena. And Duryodhana adds, Saruva eva Maharathaha. All are Maharathas. So here we have to understand what is meant by Maharatha, Ratha, etc. If one can fight with 10,000 charioteers, he is called the Maharatha. So, was a single person, if he can fight and win over the 10,000 charioteers, 10,000 people, he is called the Maharatha. So, all these people are Maharathas, they are not ordinary warriors. Asmakam tu vishishtaye tani bodhadvijottama nayaka mama sainyasya samjnartam tan bravimite. Then the question arises, then why are you fighting with them? Anyway, you cannot win. you will be crushed, you will be defeated, because there are so many Maharathas, great warriors on the other side of the army. So, simply accept your defeat now itself and beg for the pardon. The question may arise. Then suddenly an ego arises in the mind of Duryodhana. No, 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 no. I also have many warriors, great warriors. Asmakam tu, in my army, in my army, in my paksha, also there are Vishishtaha. I will name them. There are great people, great warriors on my side also. He would not say army, on my side. You see the ego and a kind of possessive attitude in Duryodhana. He would never say Kaurava army or the army belongs to me. It is mine, it is mine. I and mine. Ahankara and Mamakara. These are the two traits from which we are suffering from. It is very much manifested in the personality of Duryodhana. So, whole Gita teaching is to crush those propensities, evil propensities, Ahankara and Mamakara. Duryodhana is only a symbol here that we should understand. Every character, every situation described here, every kind of description is only symbolic here. We do not know whether Mahabharata war really took place or not. Even Mahabharata war would not have taken place. It is a very good lesson for us. You see the human character, how evil, how covetous, how bad, with bad intention a human being can be. We will learn from reading these lines. Asmakam tu, in my side, there are foremost among the warriors. You should know about them. As if Dronacharya doesn't know about the warriors at all. He is instructing, he is Acharya, his Acharya, Guru. Now he is telling, you should know who are all the foremost warriors on my side. And he addresses him as Dvijottama. And commentators have explained every word. Uttama means the foremost, the greatest among the Brahmin. Oh, you are not Kshatriya. Duryodhana is reminding Dronacharya, you are not Kshatriya. That means you cannot fight at par with the Kshatriyas. It is war between the Kshatriya. Somehow or other you have been included here. So degrading others, lowering the confidence of others. This is what he is doing, Duryodhana, again and again, humiliating people. That you will understand by reading these verses. Dvijottaman, Nayaka mama sainyasya. I will tell you in brief the names of great leaders in my army. Samjnartam, I cannot name everyone. Only for example, I will give some example. That is what is meant by samjnartam. You should know. If you know the name, if I tell you some names, you will understand how great my army is also against the Pandavas' army. So those who are the Nayakas, the leaders, some of the name I will tell you for your information. Tan bravimi te, to you. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjayaha Ashvathama Vikarnascha Saumadattirjayadrataha. Bhavan. This is very interesting. Commander-in-chief is Bhishma, but he takes the name of Bhavan, you Dronacharya. First the name of the Dronacharya is taken, just to create a conflict between Dronacharya and the Bhishma. This is all kinds of evil-mindedness, the crookedness you will see in the words of Duryodhana. Bhavan, next he names the commander-in-chief, Bhishma. Karna, Krupa. Who is Krupa? Samitinjayaha Krupaha. Samiti means the war. Whatever wars he undertakes, he will definitely win. That is why Krupa is named here as Samitinjayaha Krupaha. And he named Dronacharya's son also, Ashwathama. Oh, Dronacharya would be as if puffed with the great joy. Oh, he is our king. Duryodhana is naming my son also. These are all highly diplomatic tactics. Everybody can understand. This appreciation has not come from his heart at all. Just to make sure Dronacharya fights well with bravery against the Pandavas, because Pandavas are also his students, and he had much affection towards the Pandavas than the Kauravas. In order to ward it off and create a kind of anger and create a kind of diffidence against the Pandavas, he is telling all these names and naming the people who are very dear to Dronacharya. Ashwathama and Vikarna. Who is Vikarna? It is said he is the brother, younger brother of the Duryodhana, one of the Kauravas. And Saumadatti, he is the son of Somadatta and Jayadratha. Jayadratha was a very wicked man. If you read Mahabharata, you will come to know. He in fact captured, he imptured Draupadi and was running away, and the Pandavas chased him and protected and rescued our Draupadi. That story is there. So Jayadratha, a very wicked person, he is the king of Sindhu Desha. Anye cha bahava shura madarte tekta jivitaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. There are other people also, equally brave and great warriors on my side. Bahavaha shuraha anye. I have named only few, there are others also. They are all ready to sacrifice their lives for my sake. Madarte. There is no other purpose on the Kaurava side. There is no higher goal than just to please Duryodhana. Madarte. For my sake, they are ready to dedicate their life. They are ready to sacrifice their life. That means really they have come to sacrifice their life. Anyway, in this great war, all of them are going to die. And Duryodhana himself is telling his Bhavishya, prophecy, all are going to die. Madarte, for whose sake? For an evil-minded person like Duryodhana. Duryodhana, here it is depicted as the embodiment of adharma. Those who are on the side of adharma are definitely to lose their life, lose the war, lose the fight, because in the last sloka, in the last verse of Bhagavadgita, you will find Yatra Yogeshwara Krishnaha, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutihi. So wherever there is Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and Nara, the Arjuna, Partha, there will be definitely victory. That is the Hetra Dharmas Tato Jayaha. We have a saying. Wherever there is righteousness, conduct, proper conduct, and ethical behavior, definitely there will be victory. And we have a famous saying in the Mundaka Upanishad, Satyameva Jayate. So this is shown here. Nana Shastra Praharanaha. They are all very experts in fighting, skilled in many weapons, different kinds of weapons. Sarve Yuddha Visharadaha. They are experts in waging war in different way. Many ways of fighting is there. So they are all experts in that. Apariyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma bhirakshitam Pariyaptam tvidame tesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. There are three meanings to this shloka. I will tell you the simple meaning and then I will explain the other two meanings also. Therefore means because I have more valiant, more great warriors than in the army of the Pandavas. Therefore, apariyaptam balam, the army protected by the Bhishma, because Bhishma is the commander-in-chief. You see, he is praising Bhishma in front of Drona. Again there is a cavalry. There is a making division, decisive attitude. Divide and rule that you find in British Raj, you will find in the Duryodhana itself. You divide the people, bring about animosity towards his own people and rule and somehow or other try to win the war. This is the intention of Duryodhana. Bhishma bhirakshitam, it is protected by the Bhishma. What is that? Asmakam balam, our army, it is unlimited, apariyaptam. Though we are able to crush, we are able to defeat the Pandavas' army. Pariyaptam tvidame tesham balam, etesham balam. The war of the army of these people, a kind of superiority complex you will feel. He would not even name Pandavas. These people, they are inferior. They don't know how to fight. They are all warriors of lesser talent than us. Etesham balam. Who is protecting that? Bhima bhirakshitam. It is protected by Bhima. Bhima may be the commander-in-chief there. Bhima is not equal to us. Bhima is uncivilized. Compared to Bhishma, Bhima is nothing. So his army, their army, which is protected by Bhima, is paryaptam, is very limited. We can easily defeat it. So somehow or other he is showing up. Though inside he is suffering from inferiority complex, somehow he is showing off as if he is able to win because it is protected by Bhishma. All. So as Sri Ramakrishna says, is cheating oneself. You can cheat everyone, but if we cheat ourselves in our own mind, it is the greatest sin. That is what Duryodhana is doing now. This is the first meaning. Second meaning is apariyaptam. Apariyaptam. The Pandavas cannot defeat our army. They are not able to defeat our army because our army cannot be defeated. It is very strong. This is the meaning of the second meaning. But the army protected by Bhima can be defeated by, because it is paryaptam. It is something inferior. It is enough for us to crush the Pandavas' army, but it is not enough to crush by the Pandavas our army. This is the second meaning. And the third meaning is asamartha and samartha. Aparyapta means it is aparyapta means it is very limited. It is not, we are not able. These two meanings are on the positive side. That means our army is greater and their army is not so great. It is inferior. But there is another explanation in tune with the inferiority complex already shown by Duryodhana, and Duryodhana is telling we cannot win the war because our army doesn't have the strength. It is very parimita. It is very it cannot win the war at all. This is the meaning of aparyaptam. And paryaptam means, so Pandavas can win the war. They have that capability. They have got strength. So these are the three meanings of paryaptam and aparyaptam shown by different commentators. So you can choose whatever meanings you want. In two cases, there is a kind of conflict in the mind. Though he is inside, he is feeling he cannot win the war. Outside, he is telling we can win the war. It shows the conflict in the mind. In the third meaning, he has accepted the defeat already. Our army is not enough to win the war against Pandavas, but the Pandavas' army is has more strength to defeat our war. So he has already accepted the defeat. So in either case, we see Duryodhana is not at all confident of winning the war. That's why he is very much worried. So next verse will show you clearly why he is worried. He is worried about Bhishma. He knows if Bhishma falls, then the defeat is certain. As long as Bhishma is fighting, there is at least a semblance of chance of winning the war. If Bhishma falls, and there will be no chance at all. That he is telling to Drona, you remember. That means he is underestimating the strength of Drona in front of the Drona. All these psychological factors we have to remember. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagamavastitaha Bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantas sarvayevahi. For me, Bhishma is very, very important. Bhishma should fight with concentrated mind. He should not look here and there at all. There should not be any disturbance, trouble for him from either side. He should focus on the army of the Pandavas that is in front of him. And he should continue to fight ferociously against the Pandavas. That is our duty, is to protect Bhishma. Ayaneshu, you are all in different directions, and sarveshu cha ayaneshu, there are doors in that formation, you all stand in that formation, and avastitaha, it is all allotted to you. You stand there, yatha bhagam, as it is allotted to you, you stand there, avastitaha, you stand there. Don't change your positions. Don't change your position. It will be detrimental to the safety of Bhishma. Yatha bhagam avastitaha. What you should do, your whole focus, your whole work should be somehow or other protect Bhishma. Bhishma meva abhirakshantu. You surround Bhishma in that formation and don't allow anyone to creep in that formation so that they may trouble or they may injure Bhishma on the either side or from the behind. Because Bhishma is fighting in the front, and if someone comes from sidewise or from the behind, and Bhishma will be disturbed and his focus will go away, and he will turn his head here and there and start fighting sidewise or in the back, then there will be problem. Your whole attention should be to stand in your position allotted to you in different directions and protecting the Bhishma. Bhishma meva bhirakshantu bhavantas sarvayevahi. The commentator says, Drona did not reply to these words of Duryodhana at all. It is a monologue. There is no word of Dronacharya at all. There is no reply from Dronacharya at all. Because Dronacharya was very much disgusted with Duryodhana already. After hearing these words, full of malice, full of double-mindedness or double standard, full of conflict, full of cheating, he understood it is not right for me to reply in this condition. If Duryodhana had uttered these kind of words in the court or in the palace, Dronacharya would have retorted strongly, praising Bhishma in front of me. How it is possible? You see what kind of evilness, what kind of man Duryodhana is. So he did not reply. He did not respond to the monologue of Duryodhana. But another one responded, whom he praised. Whom he was praising? Bhishma he was praising. You all protect only Bhishma. Bhishma, and he named Bhishma also. Bhishma is the Bhishmabhirakshitam balam. This army is protected by Bhishma alone, as if Drona and Karna, other people are not existing at all. You protect only Bhishma. Bhishma heard it. Bhishma knew. Bhishma is the father of the grandfather of our Duryodhana. He knew very well the mind of the evil Duryodhana. What he did, in order to infuse confidence in him, he did something wonderful. That is the subject of the next week. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishnaarpanamastu. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ. ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಠ ಬಸವನಗುಡಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯ ಸಂಯುಕ್ತವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಆಧರಿಸಿದ ವಿಶೇಷ ಭಕ್ತ ಸಮ್ಮೇಳನ ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಚಿಂತನ ಸೌರಭ ಇದನ್ನು 20 ಶನಿವಾರ ಮತ್ತು 21 ಭಾನುವಾರ ಈ ತಿಂಗಳು ಆಯೋಜಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ 9:30 ಹಿಡಿದು 4:30ವರೆಗೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ವಿಶೇಷ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ 2-3 ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತವನ್ನು ಕೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ಪುಣ್ಯ. ಇದು ರಾಮಾಯಣದ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ರಾಮಾಯಣ ಬದುಕಿಗೆ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ, ಭಾವಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾವ್ಯ, ರಾಜಧರ್ಮ, ರಾಮನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಹಲವು ಆಯಾಮಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ರಾಮಾಯಣದ ಆದರ್ಶ ಪಾತ್ರಗಳು, ವಾಲ್ಮೀಕಿ ರಾಮಾಯಣದ ಮಹತ್ವ, ಸೀತಾಮಾತೆ, ಮನೋವಿಜ್ಞಾನ, ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ 2 ದಿವಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಕೇವಲ 200 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಿಗದಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಆಫೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕೂಪನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು.